underground. And good evening. And a much love right at the gate. What is going on, everybody? Well, say a 2001, thank you for the coffee. Much love. Right back to the Pacific Northwest, right at the gate. And to everybody else out there, thank you. Dub C, Deanne, E. Fitz, Gabriel, Quantum, Solar Paul, Randy for the feedback there. Much love to all the underground, all the pure bloods out there. Thank you, Jenna, for the feedback. Shalom, Morningstar. See Florida in the house, Mexico in the house. Cats checking in from all over. I know a lot of people out there in the Midwest, or Georgia, Florida, Carolinas, Tennessee, under a lot of water. We're going to get into that here in a second. Felt the wrath of it myself today. D. White in the house. Much love. I just hope everybody's doing good. I've seen some pretty crazy images and video out there today. Thank you, Jenna. A lot of major flooding. A lot of people needing rescued. And it's going to be the ongoing theme for the coming days. If you guys got anything you want to get to me, like links, things like that, you can send them to dabu7@yahoo.com. Try to pull that up real quick. Have it sitting off to the side. Try to check that throughout the stream. If you got any links or anything like that, I want to thank anyone and everyone that shares the stream and gets it out there. And we've got plenty to cover tonight. As you see in the title, it's just what I could fit in there. But a lot of other stuff. Any more of these streams go way longer than I plan. But we've just got a lot to cover. Flip. Much love, man. Been around for a minute. Much love. Happy Friday. Thank you for that super chat. Yeah, I hope wherever you guys are out there, you're doing all right. Hopefully, the biggest part of the storm has passed you, and you can start to get over it. I know today it was just whipping the crap out of us. I'm in Kentucky. It seems to come up here and just park it right over where we're at. But it pushed off to the west a little bit, opened up to clear skies, thankfully, or else I wouldn't be live. It was just that bad. It was just it's too loud. It was just nailing the house, whipping it, rocking it, just everything. 60-mile-an-hour gusts. For the people out there dealing with the flooding, I'm going to get to that here in a second. Start off here real quick with an update on the space weather before we jump into the earth weather real quick. We still have a really active sun, littered with sunspots. Any one of them on this western side right now that's earth-facing could pop off with an X-flare. It's very active at the top of the cycle, and it's not too surprising we see an X-flare. 115 degrees in Phoenix. Much love, brother Chucky. Thank you for the coffees, and thank you, Kathy, for the super chat. If you guys get any crazy images of this comet that I'm talking about and dropped a video on, let me know as well. Would love to share them. This is going to be, you don't see this all the time. I've been tracking comets for years. Helene, Ison, all these ones that have come in that have had weird things attached to them. Oumuamua that went by. But here in Atlas, visible, lighting up in the sky. And it's going to get brighter from here, which is the crazy thing. Even if it switches over to daytime, you're going to be able to see this thing as well. I think it was like 2007 since the last time you were able to see one during the day. It was that bright. Here is a look at it going past the sun. It's an animation right here. And as it goes past the sun, it brightens up extremely. Some people comparing this to prophecy. I've seen people out there calling it Jacob's star. Some people referring to the Kachinas. And this is the passage that says, hey, use the stars and everything as signs, for signs. Well, we've got one out of nowhere in a crazy window in time. In this election window, couple in that mini moon, we've had a few things, and we've got another one. Let me go down here. We have another object that came through yesterday at 0.7, but we've got one that's coming in within the next 24 hours. A very close shave to Earth. This is going to be at 0.1 LD. We do have an object coming in that close. When they come in that close, they could potentially hit. We've seen them hit. It's not that big of an object, but just saying. Just throwing it out there. All right, now, there's no doubt a bunch of people out there that normally tune into the show that can't hear me because they're in the dark. And I feel for those people. It's crazy where I sit. I can step outside and I can hear generators from the whole valley around me running, telling me that power's out for all those people. And 4 million people without power over here at poweroutage.us. A lot of these coming out of South Carolina, North Carolina, Georgia, Florida. Georgia got hammered big time there that needs them right now. Because I know that there's a lot of people out there that are needing it. There's people that... I watched a news guy earlier, a weather guy, stop what he was doing to go rescue a lady that was stranded in her car. Yeah, OBS must have cut out for a second. It's back though. So these flights, 1,600 delayed, 1,100 canceled. Look down here at the storm track. This is the outage map right here. Outage US right there. Which there's a whole lot more affected than what it's showing there. It looks like it's stalled out over Kentucky right now. So hopefully the worst is past a lot of you guys out there. Jay, checking in. Jay from the Ville. I don't know how it is in your neck of the woods right now, but it's clear skies here, thankfully, for now. It's supposed to turn around and come back my way in the coming days and head back up the East Coast before it just gets absorbed into the upper atmosphere. But yeah, man, a lot of other issues connected with this here. You can see right here, the Walters Dam. I dropped a video on this. Duke Energy now saying that the dam is okay, but it did overflow. It didn't give way, but we had initial reports. The titles were saying catastrophic failure. Had to go back and update my video title later after they said no, it didn't fall apart. It topped, and it didn't fail. But it's not the only one, and this thing, it isn't over yet. Until all the flood water recedes totally, which is going to be a minute. We're not out of the woods. You can see here, initially, they said that the dam had suffered catastrophic failure. They have evacuated all of downtown Newport, and that was immediately earlier. I mean, if you're near here, I'm guessing that you've heard some of this, unless power's been out in that area. Maybe people haven't heard. But again, I know a lot of people out there are sitting there without power right now. I mean, we got millions of people out there in the dark. That I know a lot of them need help. Some of these clips are absolutely crazy of the areas that got flooded. And it seems like a lot of people got caught by surprise. Just a ton of people in their clips saying, we didn't think it would get bad this fast or whatnot. But this is what happens when a powerful yet slow-moving hurricane comes through. We've yet to see one. I know in my neck of the woods, we've been seeing drought pretty bad. We could use a lot of this rain. I know I've topped off all my tanks, which is a plus, but some areas are just absolutely inundated. I know 40 going through Tennessee. I was talking to a guy. I was on the phone talking to a guy at Signature Solar earlier as the place was getting whipped with wind. And I was asking him a few questions. And he was telling me that he was like, oh, I'm leaving out of here at 5 o'clock. I'm going on a motorcycle ride. And I'm supposed to be going across the country. He's like, what's it look like up there? I was like, well, where I'm at, it's just now starting to pass. He's like, well, I'm trying to get down to I-40. He's like, well, maybe not. He's like, 40's cut off. And then just multiple reports kept coming through that 40 was cut off. So if I would really look into it if you're trying to go into that area. You can see right here the Tennessee National Guard. They had to bring in helicopters to rescue people that were trapped on top of these roofs. Like right here, look at this. This is crazy. Flooding right here. I'm going to play this clip real quick so you guys can see these choppers moving down in. Here's one right here on the right in this video screen. And that's just all water that's not normally there. Flooding the whole place, so. Look at this roadway right here. The main highway coming down. Basically, it drops right down into this raging floodwater. So this is why large portions are cut off down here. Just so happens SWAT happened to be training down here in this area. But they were running with the National Guard conducting these rescue operations. Luckily, they had them there. This is the McGee-Tyson Airport. Tennessee just getting pounded, man. So prayers, again, going out to anyone out there. I've seen insane clips just scrolling through Twitter here today that I don't have on me. But, there's just so many out there on the Twitter feed of houses just... It's just nuts, man. All right, hold on a second. Maybe I got this. All right, I got another one here. They are saying that out of North Carolina, there is a dam that has been compromised. Officials are warning of imminent failure. You can see here, so that wasn't the only situation. We have multiple dams out there in a not good situation. Look at the infrastructure in this country. Look at what has happened to it. And remember, this Biden regime got an infrastructure package passed for all this money and did nothing with it. This place is falling apart. Times like now, busting at the seams. So they're saying that they've issued urgent evacuation orders for all residents around here. Anyone downstream from this particular dam, you need to evacuate, get to higher ground, because within the next 24 to 48 hours, anything could happen. So they say this caused imminent failure at the Lake Lure Dam. This is the Lake Lure Dam, 20 miles southwest of Asheville. They said it pushed it to its breaking point. So this is for a lot of the county there. Anyone that's downstream from this dam. Matter of fact, if you're in a flooding area right now and you've got any dam around you upstream, be cautious, be smart, and just keep an open eye on things. I don't know if I could sleep at night, to be honest with you, knowing that there's a dam right up the street or wherever they could bust overnight and wipe us all out. There's just no way. I couldn't even live like that. There's just no way. Some people have no choice, but look, man, if this thing goes, it would be catastrophic. Lake Lure Dam, they're saying, and this is different than the other one. This is different from the other one. When you read into this, get past the evacuations here, they state that parts of the bridge have actually been washed out. That's why they're saying that this one has been compromised. Okay? So, right here. The structural supports have been compromised, but currently holding. And that was hours and hours ago. Now this dark makes it even more dangerous. Uncommon checking in. Much love. Thank you, brother. Man. D. Thomas back with the coffee. Working on your first off-grid. Really. Hey, much love. It's kind of crazy right now, knowing that everyone around me is in the dark. And I'm not. I mean, I'm able to get out this communication to you. Because I'm finally in that position. I've fought all these years to try to get to this point. And luckily, you know, I'm only alive because of it. But like everyone around me, all my neighbors are like in the dark. Even family, like hours and hours away from me, in the dark, and not expected to have power till sometime tomorrow. There's people all over the place, in the dark. So those that ended up getting backup generators and things like that, because I know a lot of people have mentioned that to me, and some people are testing them out right now. Some people are going, this is the first trial of testing their backup system. I wish you well. I'd help out the best that I can. You know, every system's different. I look to put out some information on the type of system that I got because my whole life I've strived and had this vision of like creating this package that if every person had it, you could live free from the beast, off grid, no bills, pretty much. I mean, you're still going to have a few smaller bills. You know, if you want internet, you're going to have internet bill, phone bill. You're always going to have insurance, things like that. But to eliminate huge electric bills, the monster water bills that we've seen them going after people on, just all those things. And Colleen, thank you for the coffees. I had a vision to create this way, to try it. And there was only one way to know, was to try it. Quantum, thank you. 228, brother. Thank you for the coffees. So I finally have been able to, I'm not all the way there by no means, but I've been able to at least get to where I'm not connected to the power grid and depending on it. And collecting my own water and cleaning it and doing all that stuff. So I've eliminated those bills in that sense. And I don't know, and it's just crazy right now. Thank you for the coffee, someone. And this is like the first big first event that I've been in a situation like this where a ton of the people around me are in a major power outage. and I'm still up and running. Leaves the station of precious metals, and thank you, Lowrider, checking in at the 15 coffees, brother. Huge, man. Thank you for all the support, guys, man. I appreciate it more than you know. I think it keeps on the slow grind for now, and I'm gonna touch more on it here in a second. I will remember. I got one on gold. I think it stays on the slow grind though until big events hit. I'd just be getting in any little pullback. If that's because everybody's wondering, like, when do we get into precious metals? Any little pullback. I don't think you're going to see a big one. But look, guys, on this weather, this is real deal. There's so many people out there in the path of floodwaters right now. It's just insane. Let me go over here and look on my main channel here to what I tweeted out. Maybe I tweeted one of these out that was just... I didn't. I think I was just... Oh, yep, I did. Here we go. We'll play this clip. Look at that. Can you imagine this is your house? Look at this. I'm pausing it right there. These people are still in the house. This is what I'm telling you. All these people got caught by surprise. If you can listen to what this guy says, he's like shocked. Like the water's rushing through their house and he's like filming it. Somehow they got the stuff posted to social media. Like houses just getting swept away with the people in them. This is horrendous. This is worse than what many people out there realize right now. The flood waters are horrendous.
Oh, I hope not. Oh, we're gonna go up in the attic. We have to, guys. We came quick. Love y'all. Oh, I hope not.
Thank you, D. Thomas.
Oh, we're gonna go up in the attic. We have to, guys.
We're gonna go in the attic of a house that's about to get washed away. Look at these houses. All you can see is the roofs, the rooftops, and a lot of people are getting rescued off the rooftops. You can see people right over here on this rooftop. This is just crazy. I mean, anyone that's in this situation, you yourself could get swept away at any time, and then you're looking off and you're seeing other people that could be swept away anytime. There could be people drowning inside these houses. I mean, this is just a horrific time. I'm telling you, millions of people without power and getting swept away. There's no cell phone. There's no phone to call anyone. There's nothing. Everything getting swept away. Like those people we just saw, they got caught by pure surprise. He's lucky to have his phone on him. A ton of people. Look at this. Look at this. Are you kidding? Asheville in the Carolinas. Are you kidding me? Open the front door. I mean, you're like in the middle of an ocean. Raging water's coming down through there, man. I hope those people got out of there. A lot of these people didn't. They can't get rescued. They did not leave. They are trapped. The scariest and saddest thing is like those people you just saw in the last clip. They're trying to go into their attics. And then the house is getting swept away. You have no way to get out there then. You have no way to get it to the roof. Do not trap yourself. Do you understand? You'd be better off on the roof and then grabbing something that floats rather than being trapped in an attic and drowning. Man, oh man, oh man. I know it. If you can hear my voice, you're definitely not in a situation like that. I think those people were just I don't know. They had nothing else to do, nowhere else to go. Most of these people got caught off guard. That's why they're there. A lot of these people they had nowhere to go last minute when something like this happens. That's why I say I would never live down here full time on the coast in Hurricane Alley. I just couldn't. Maybe a secondary home or something down the road, maybe a little trailer. Get a decent drive to the beach or something. But like nothing, you're going to have to pay out the nose for insurance. Nothing that if it gets destroyed, it's going to be a huge hit. Like nothing like that, because it just happens constantly anymore. Weather's been turned into a weapon. They want to say it's climate this or that. It's definitely being manipulated, if you ask me. They told us this was going to be a very active season. It really wasn't until here recently. So here we go. Just hope that another one doesn't come out of nowhere. And come in and dump massive amounts of rain in the next week. It is that time. Again, prayers going out to everybody out there that needs them, because I know there's souls out there praying to God right now. I know it. I can feel it, man. I can feel it. My soul feels it. I know there are people screaming for their life right now. And I pray to God in heaven, you get rescue teams to them or someone to them, or that the tree they're holding on to is staying strong, or whatever it is. Because I can feel it. I know it tonight. The way that this soul system is, there's without a doubt people in that position. I mean, you've seen it. You just seen what's going on. It's heartbreaking, man. Dam just broke, Michael says. Could you add a little bit more detail to that? Like where at? Or any other details, something like that. This one, North Carolina dam. Is that one you're talking about? Because we had the one in Tennessee, and then also this one in the Carolinas. Never live underneath a dam, in my opinion. Never live in a floodplain. Never, ever. We got flooded out by what I perceive to be rain bombs here just a couple summers ago. It was the worst flooding they've seen around here. They called it a 1,000-year flood. Same 1,000-year flood that seems to keep hitting everywhere. And it wiped everything out. Everyone that was down there by the creeks and the rivers that had a house got hit and wiped away. Unless you're at higher ground. In this day and age, if you're going to build anything, I know it seems cozy. Have a cabin down, next to a river so you can see it flowing and all this stuff. It sounds nice. But save that for going down to Pigeon Forge or something. Because realistically, surviving, that's not the place to be. Down that close to any waterway that could flood like we just seen, that's what you get stuck with. That's the price you pay in the end. When they start doing this, you have nowhere to go and your house gets washed away and all this, and you never thought it was possible. But if you're within 100 yards of a major river or a blue line waterway, and major flooding comes through, anything's possible. So, again, prayers going out to everyone out there that needs them. I'm going to keep moving through the news here. But still connected to this, beware if you're out there doing any rescue missions. Beware of going in floodwaters. Not only could they be polluted with all types of toxic chemicals, and we've seen it a million times. All these places get flooded, and those chemicals in those places, in those buildings, just mix in with the water. You don't know what's out there. Not to mention there could be down power lines. And there could be gators, like this one right here. And we'll play this clip. This person walks outside, down in Florida, and just creeping right there is a gator. So you just got to watch it. Try to blow this up a little bit bigger. Here we go. Yeah, so just pay attention. Walking down the steps, you don't know what's going to be lurking, especially in Florida. I mean, you would think people down there realize this, but if you're new to the area or the situation, just saying, watch the waters. All right, I wanted to point out some of the costliest hurricanes we've ever seen. Told you about this insurance and all that. Katrina takes the top. It's back in 2005. Then Ian in 2022, followed by Ida, then Sandy, Harvey, Irma, Maria, and Andrew. See, I was down there. I chased Irma. I believe it was Harvey. Not sure. I've gone down there after so many different things, but man, I've seen the destruction firsthand. I've gone down and got right behind a hurricane and followed up the coastline. The destruction is just, it's like following a war. It's a war path. It's insane, the destruction. All right, man, I'm going to keep on pushing. If I get any other updates here, I will relay them. If you've got anything breaking or urgent, you need to get my attention at me, at Dabu77 in the chat. It lights it up in red. And I'll try my best to keep my eyes open. If I see that, I will update. All right. I thought that this was kind of hypocrisy, but double speak, if you will, all the stuff. IMF talking about carbon taxes, but saying that the carbon tax would hurt the poor people. Majority of the planet is poor at this point. So the carbon taxes would hurt the poor people. Then they turn around and say, so we need one. You know, this is just crazy. They're sitting there and just telling you just how that this tax would hurt most people. And then turn around and say, but we're going to implement it anyway. We don't care. That's their thinking. They don't care. Just so you know, when it comes to this whole carbon thing. And look at the UK. The UK says goodbye to coal for good. You see, the UK is the first G7 country to phase out coal entirely. And that's nuts. That's just crazy. I don't know how this is going to turn out for them. They're a much smaller country than the United States. So that they obviously are going to need a lot less. But we've seen the horrific things that have happened with these other countries that tried to go down this route. And it just doesn't work, as we've seen time and time again. You need to have, especially in a very cold winter and a bad winter, you need to have these options on the table, because if you don't, it can cost lives. And that's the threat here. That's why my state told the federal government, kick rocks. We don't care. We're keeping our coal plant open, and they did. And it saved lives. Saved lives. The federal government didn't like that. Still don't like it, but it didn't matter. My state is, thank God, woke up to what's going on. And they're not playing the game. They're saying these are our natural resources from God. We're going to utilize them. Ain't no one going to tell us any different. Thank you, someone, for the coffee. which is great because just is. They're not bound down to this beast. But I feel bad for anyone out there that lives in a place like this. I mean, Crown, Daz, Lord McCormick, all my cats over there in the UK. I feel for you here in a lot of ways, and I know the chaos and everything that's going on over there. But this is just something else to add to the list. It's just, coal keeps the lights on. Coal keeps people alive. I know it because I've seen it with my own eyes right here. Right here. You go down these old roads, down these old country roads in Appalachia, in the mountains where I'm at, because I live it. I'm there. And I see these people. They got piles of wood, piles of coal sitting outside, and they burn it. And it's only because of that, and able to pull it out of their land, that they survive and they get through the winter. It's it. And the government hates that because they're sustainable. And you can survive without them. And they have no way to stop that but to attack it the way that they're doing now with this agenda. And I just love that my state doesn't play it at all. Tell them to kick rocks. And if the government ever does want to come in here and do something, they're on their own. I love that too. Meaning if they ever get into like a Waco and try to take someone out, the feds, they can't call on the police. They can't call on the National Guard. They can't call on the sheriff. They can call on no one. It's the law now here on the books. And they made it to where everyone here is constitutional carry. They just said, the heck with it. We're going all out, getting everybody armed up, everybody ready. It's going to go tyrannical. Just be ready. So that's where we're at. So I'm thankful that I can utilize the stuff God gave me here. And thank you, Granite, for the coffees. The timber, for the wood burner stove, to heat the house, to get through the winter. Coal, even, if you need it. And to sell and to barter. Maybe some of your neighbors don't have it. Maybe they got chickens and eggs and all these other things. You can utilize this to barter as well. Trust me. When it comes down to survival, the whole game changes. But most people know nothing about that. They've taken no time to even get prepared. They're going to find out the hard way. You should have options. It doesn't hurt to have options, and you're only going to survive longer and have better odds if you've got more options. So if you could tap into natural gas, coal, things like that on your property, you're set, man. In my book. But if you're in a place, it starts out where you're at. If you're trying to live and survive somewhere out there, and the rules are tyrannical there, the odds are stacked against you right there. So to me, you've got to get into a position, into a place that at least respects your right to live and survive and all this other stuff. Or else every single thing you do, they're going to try to attack. Right? Which is what's happening in all these other places. It sucks. So... yeah, I wouldn't... I don't know. To me, getting up in the mountains is where to be. It just is. Not just because I'm there in the Appalachians. It just, period. Whatever mountains you can get to. Higher ground. Away from big city. With resources. Yeah, man. All right. And if you don't know, the UN. The biggest body out there, basically globally. Part of the beast system here. They just came and said, look, we're going to pass this new pact. And it's basically all their goals and what they want to do. And they're telling all these countries that are underneath their umbrella, you've got to accept this. You've got to live by these rules that we're laying out. This is our targets. And you guys got to help us get there. Is how they push it. And they care not about our Constitution. They care not about our rights, our freedom. They don't care about that. All they care about is their juggernaut. Is this global beast system. And they don't care about our Constitution or any rights that we got. They want to tear them down because it's the only way that they can have full control. Now, I'm going to just name off some of these things. I'm not going to do the paragraphs. I'm just going to name off the bullet points. They say, number one, treaty ratification and executive overreach. That's one thing. Number two, subordination of U.S. law into international bodies. So it's basically saying that our Constitution comes second to all these other things. Number three, the erosion of states' rights in the federalist system. See, the 10th Amendment reserves powers not explicitly delegated to the federal government, to the states or the people. So there's certain things that happen there that go down within the country that happen within the Senate and the House and all, the way everything work here, that would just flat out be overwritten. You wouldn't, at this point, what is the use for it when it doesn't matter? It doesn't matter if you go in there and vote to do this or that, when every single time you do, you're getting overridden by the UN, if you're bowing down to them. So these are the problems. This is what the UN wants all these countries to do. The fourth one here, the First Amendment, threats to freedom of speech. Of course, that's an obvious one. They want to censor everything. It's all they're talking about down every avenue. You can see what they just did with the Telegram dude, trying to make an example out of him. You can see what they're doing, trying to go after Elon. Everything happening there. Number five, the Second Amendment conflicts, disarmament and the firearm rights. Of course, they don't want us armed. And there's just no way they're ever going to get all the guns out of this country. There's just like no way. Even a decade from now, full-blown war broke loose, you're still not going to have your hands on all the guns that are hitting all throughout this place. I do fear, though, they're taking this place to like a third world, like Mogadishu setting. If they turn the lights out and break down the economy, it's over. That's what this becomes rather quickly. Rather quickly. It becomes like lawless, like nuts, man. Like Mad Max. Like, dude, it gets nuts. Mix it in with the Hunger Games. It's going to be wild. I believe they're ready for this. I believe they want this. I know the people don't. They know the people don't. They know the people just want peace. But they're sick of this. They want what they want, and that's it. And it's like they're going to force the people to do it one way or another here, it seems. You see what they did with lockdowns? They were very brazen, wasn't they? They didn't care. They came out and they locked everybody down. You know, and locked down, stand 6 feet apart, throw a mask on your face, do all this crap, jump down, turn around, all this. It's just, it's crazy. Number 6 here, in terms of medical mandates, they want to be able to force them. We already know where this is going. They want to be able to say whatever from the top down and bark it from the top of their pyramid and it just go global. Everybody bow down. Do exactly what they say. That's not going to work with our country. It's not compatible. So they have to tear our country down. They know this. They hate it. They hate our country more than any country because of what we represent. We represent and stand on the cusp of a lot of things here, man. We fall, down the tubes goes a whole lot. So it's almost like, what up, Evan? We gotta start swinging, And number 7 is property rights and economic freedom. They want to be able to come in and take everything from you, and you not even own land, own anything, your home, your car, nothing. And one of the ways they look to do this is they want to tax everything. All right, you know how you used to be able to go out and buy a program like Microsoft Office? And you'd have it. And you could always pop it in, and you always had it, had the disk. But then they got hip to some stuff, and they were like, no. we're going to license it every year. And we're going to make you pay again and again and again and again and again and again and again forever. You see the scam? This is what they're doing with everything, with all of it. And even with your new items, they're trying to get away with this, your big ticket items. They want to, like your washing machine, your refrigerator, dryer, all those things, they want you to pay on taxes every year on it. Every year. That's what they're trying to push. That is insane. Add that to the rest of all your bills. But when you look at Kamala and where she's going and what she's already saying, you can see it fits right in with their agenda and their scheme and their scam. I mean, it's to totally wreck the place. Like I said before, if they come out and they tell you that woman is your president, like, it's done. Like, that moment, the market dumps. It dumps to hell and back. It may be the dump. I don't even know if it'd be worth buying that dip. It may. You might want to... It depends. Lockdowns was worth buying when you look back at it, but we're talking about the crash, which really isn't even a dip. It's the crash. It keeps going downhill. So you thought it was a dip, you buy in, but it keeps crashing. That's the worst. This keeps crashing and keeps crashing and keeps crashing. Yeah. We're due for that. Everything is at a high. Remember. Matter of fact, let's just take a quick look at everything here. Oh, before I jump into that, I want to add here real quick, and this is a plus. This is a big victory for the people here. A judge approves Norfolk Southern's $600 million East Palestine settlement for the train derailment. It didn't take till past 2030, thankfully. It's settled. $600 million. But this shows you how much damage is done there. Permanent damage done to the waterway, to the ecosystem, to people's health and lives, swept under the rug. So this is it. They're going to pay them all off, anyone that was affected bad, the closest ones. So they'll start as low as they can with these millions and start to pay off the people. Here. I don't know, man. At least they got something. They got to pay off, but the damage done from this, it's going to be around forever. It didn't go away. It's still, just because they're throwing money at it doesn't mean it's over. Yeah, they're throwing money at it, but like the toxins are still leached into the water. They're still there right this very second, with no plan to be able to clean them up all the way. So, it's an $8 billion to Ukraine, right? It's something, or to Israel, right? It's yeah, good genocide, more people or something, or to the Taliban or whoever. I got some crazy stuff on all that here coming up in a second. Real quick, water. I was just telling you about the dangers of the flood waters themselves out there. It would be smart to start catching your own water. Look what they say here. NIH confirms that fluoride exposure is linked to lower IQ in children. So we've been warning about this for a long time. Now they are. See, my state just this past year or so did away with any mandates to fluoridate any water, which is huge. And even if you are tapped into the system, at least you don't have to worry about mandated fluoridated water. It's just one less thing you got to worry about if it's one less chemical in there. They're saying it's proof here the judge stopped short of telling them what to do. He didn't tell them what to do or anything like that, or he just made it clear that, look, you better look into this further because this ain't good. We've got proof that it's lowering IQs in children. And like, this could be the beginning of the ball rolling to just get it out of the water, period. They're trying to attack your pineal, okay, which is a very important part of your body. You should have been taught about this. You should have been taught about the functioning of this and all that. But they wanted to keep it this great secret because it's essentially the seat of your soul, your mind's eye. And it is a very, very important organ. It's an eye. It even has its own lens. It's very real. But they want to calcify it. They want to harden it to where it doesn't work the proper way. You imagine that? Government going out of their way to try to do something to trick you, to try to attack one of your most vital organs in your body. Especially in terms of consciousness and knowing all this stuff. They're trying to turn it into a rock. You understand? They're trying to turn it into a rock. Now, is anyone out there that listens to K-Love? Listen to any spiritual or God type of music? You'll know that there's a song out there then. There's honey in the rock. Yeah, water in the stone. They are hinting to you. The same way as they do in several of the songs about the chrism. They actually speak it because it's no longer a secret. It's becoming more open. More people are becoming conscious and aware of it, of what it is, of what we are. And that we can finally tune ourselves to be a better people, better spiritually and physically. Instead of just ignoring it, being a glutton sloth. But people are awakening to this. I'm telling you, it's hitting there. It's being ticker taped into everything around you. And the government hates that. They want you oblivious to this. They want you dumbed down, as stupid as could be. Obviously, this slaves. But I think we're getting to a point to where they're done with us. They don't need us. They got robots and AI and whatever humans they do want or need, they want to stick a Neuralink in the brain. Like eventually they don't want any of us humans, normal humans here. We're like not wanted anymore by them. There's too many of us. They need to eradicate us. We're just the goyim, We're not needed. Like we are the useless eaters. We are the carbon that they want to reduce. Seriously. They've technologically got to a point to where they're sitting there looking around like, look, they've got a maid that comes to them like the Jetsons. They got all this stuff they want to release. They want to be able to use this technology worldwide, but they can't. They can't even release it worldwide or do the things they want because we're stopping them. We're the problem in their eyes. In so many ways. Whether it's useless eaters or this and that. Listen. I know deep secrets that some people just scoff at because that's the way they've made it out there. But there's a way out of here, man. I have to speak on that on a whole different tip. But this is like hell, isn't it? I see it as a proving ground. Something made all this. Every bit of it, everything around it made all of it is watching it. So I see it as something is watching what I do. It's like, how intelligent are you? Can you sense me? Can you sense that I'm watching you? Yes, I can. Right now. And I'm not so sure that other people are that receptive if they've got that antenna built into them or turned on, tuned in. And see, that is what your pineal is. You see? Yeah. Anyhow, I'm going to keep it pushing. I guess there's a time and a place. Maybe if I see in the flesh, we can speak more on that. Those who seek it shall find it. The markets, gold and crypto, ripping, running together. Everything's still at a high. S&P, all that. Still here, because any time now, it's all coming down. Don't forget Buffett dumping. He was 0.5% away from going below his threshold, and he didn't have to report anymore. I'm just waiting for one last headline to get posted, and then we'll know. They'll be like, because that's all that he has to do. All he has to do is report one more time. That's it. Siri, thank you. Much love to the UK. Thank you for that PayPal. I hope you got gold. Hope you got lots of it. Even if you don't, I hope you just got a little piece. Even if you don't, hope you got some silver. If you don't, you need to. I've been saying this for too long. You're slipping. You got to have some fine china sitting around. You have some old 65, pre-65 coins sitting around somewhere. Something. Have something, man. That's your best bet for bartering right now. All the coinage isn't dried up completely. You really think that we're going to make it to 2030 without them breaking this whole place down? It could be tomorrow. Really could. But do you really think we're going to make it that far without them breaking this whole place down? Man, I don't. I see them breaking this place down economically, the dollar. And the grid is tied in with it. I look at what they want to achieve right now. They want to achieve pushing a CBDC, to me, in terms of one of the scariest. Like, if they put Kamala in again, not only will the markets dump, the CBDC is guaranteed. I can almost, right there it is. If they collapse the market, as soon as they put her in there, they will come to the rescue immediately. It will be her rescue. It will be Kamala bucks. Whatever. It's the CBDC. They will implement the plan right there. Because when they crash the market, no one's going to be able to get money out. That's it. Everyone's 401ks are going to get stolen. I've already told you everything. You can never say in the future you didn't know. You can never say someone didn't come along and tell you. I've told you all these things. And see, part of the rules to the game is that it has to be in the open. Believe it or not, it's part of their black magic. You have to be told. You have to know. This is why you could fold money up and see two towers smoking. And on and on and on. It's part of the sigil magic. But a lot of people are so controlled by that magic, they don't even believe it exists. And that right there is got them. This whole thing's magic, man. Or sciences that you were never taught. Because some things ain't magic at all. It's just a science or a fundamental thing that was kept hidden from you. Take, for instance, levitation. If they were to come out and say this and that, it's not magic. Because there's different ways we know that they can levitate objects and items. And then when you look at all the secret technology, advancements of anti-gravitics and the movement of Mercury and all this other stuff, it's not magic. These are just sciences that were kept hidden from you. Do you understand? It's the same thing. It gets deep, alchemical, in the mixing of all these things. But as much as you want to call it, it is spiritual, with this magic stuff, it's scientific. Because there's methods to the madness. Crown jewels in the house, man. So look at this. Mike McGlone, hedge fund dude here, says he's the senior commodity strategist at Bloomberg Intelligence. He's another dude that jumps out. See, I told you on a whim on my gut one night that we were just sitting there looking at gold. Just had hit like 24, 25. And I told you that I looked up and I seen $3,000 ahead. And I'm like, dude, when you pass $3,000, it's going to FOMO. And ever since then, all these guys have been seeing it and saying the same thing. So I'm like, well, that's a pretty solid confirmation. Oh, and here's another one. Iron 3K. It breaks 3K. Boy, it could take off running to 4. And boy, that just, it takes me to right back to the Bitcoin stuff. You want to know how quickly something can go from $3,000 or $4,000 to $60,000, $70,000? Look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin hit $3,000 or $4,000 when they said lockdown, and everybody freaked out. We're not buying toilet paper and all that. The market dipped. Go back and look at it. Look at the charts. It all dipped. Everything tanked. Well, everything tanked out. Even gold dipped. Everything. That was a dipped buy. If you would have bought that dip when they had everyone freaked out, if you would have known, like a lot of these players did, and you were sitting there with your chips on the sideline, as soon as this happened, you would have bought. You'd have bought that. You'd have bought that dip for $4,000. This is called 4,000. Okay, Bitcoin. Okay, same thing here. Where is Bitcoin today? Just since lockdowns, since they locked us down, and you could have made that purchase. Where is it today? $65,000. You kidding me? You talk about a come up. You talk about a come up right there. It's a digital nothing. It is a digital nothing. Nothing. Anunnaki don't want it. You can't eat it in microdose and do healthy things for your body, like you can gold or silver or anything like that. No, you can't. It's not a precious element. No, it's not. Bitcoin is nothing but a digital nothing made by the beast, by a government. Now, in one hand you have Bitcoin, and in the other hand you have gold. If Bitcoin, that is nothing, can run to 65,000 from 4,000 within a couple years, the real McCoy can do it. And not only can he do it, he could probably shatter it. Do you understand? We are right there. We are right where gold is stepping up into the foothold where Bitcoin just was in that dip. And we're going to see where it tracks and traces from here. I'm telling you, it's got nothing but up from here, man. Yeah. Same with silver. Silver's going to do something insane. Silver's going to really go bananas because it hasn't even moved. Look, gold's hitting all-time highs, breaking records. Silver hasn't. Silver has to break 49.50 to set an all-time high, just to set one. Let alone keep marching forward, breaking, and to catch up with gold. Because that's how it works. Silver, I'm telling you, all of you got a chance to get your hands on some silver out there, somewhere. All right, let's get into some other news. Top of the hour here. Much love to everybody out there. Hope you're doing well tonight. Yes, 20K by 2030. I do believe. There, I can't say that because it's in Russian, but much love. Temu. I told you before, watch out, do not use it. All it is a data harvesting site, and all they're doing is stealing your information and selling it and getting way more money out of selling your information than they ever would you buying products off the site. It is a knockoff site. It's bad. Now they're saying that it's a national security concern. Everything connected to China is going to be labeled this. I hope you know this. Anything and everything. Years ago, they were looking at the drones, DJI, and I was like, oh, well, I got one. I was kind of pissed. What? It's dead now. So if I ever get another drone, it's definitely not going to be Chinese made. But they rule the market. And here's the problem. Even if you don't, and you just get one that's American made, even if you get solar panels that are American made, is all these people trying to brag, oh, they're made in Texas, this and that. But what are they made with? Where'd the components come from? China. Let's just be honest about this. Okay? It's the way that it is. The market's flooded and inundated with it. It's what they rule. And you got to understand, when it comes to processing the fine earth elements on this planet, China controls it, boss hog like. And for the life of me, I don't know why. It's something we could do. We could fire up these plants the same way that they do, but we don't do it. We're not doing it. I don't understand it. It gives them this power, this monopoly in that sector. It makes no sense. Almost like how they were controlling everything with the chips. And we got smart and finally we shipped things with the chips. And we're planning to make a whole ton of them here in the United States. So similar thing has to happen there. Anyhow, anything connected to China and Chinese technology right now is going to come under the scope. And dude, when they can start blowing things up like pagers and walkie-talkies and solar panels and all this other stuff. See, the solar panel thing didn't make no sense and all this stuff because it was just the panels. There was no lithium battery in it to explode. Now that I think about it. What do we have here? We got an update on that. Just throw this in there. Norway issues a notice, a wanted notice, so a warrant for a man connected to these exploding pagers in Lebanon. So this is a man linked to a Bulgaria-based company that may have been involved in this. So remember, started with pagers, and then it went to these walkie-talkies. And they were trying to say that somehow they were just vibrating at a high rate and blowing up the lithium battery. Well, that's not going to work because there were items that didn't even have lithium batteries in them that were blowing up. What happened here, we still don't know. For one, Israel isn't even trying to have any connection to this. But it's obvious they have something because as soon as it happened, they started bombing them. Come on, the timing was... Come on. Sometimes take a step back and look at the bigger picture. It's like, give me a break. You know, you guys just start dropping bombs and are ready to invade the moment this happens. It's not connected. Just get out of here. Like, you can lie to these sheep, but some of us just don't buy it. We're hip to this, man. This isn't our first rodeo. And we've been seeing this for years. We're sick of it. Sick of all of it. It's always the same players. It's always the same treasonous goons, part of the same club doing this all the time. And we know who it is. It's not a mystery as much as it was years ago, even a decade ago. We know who these players are. And at this point, we know they're even bowing down to these evil-ass entities and that they're here. We see it all clearly. I'm sick of the evil, but unfortunately, until somebody returns the sword and lights this place up, or until I die, even if I die, it's like Hotel California. You can check out, but you can never leave. You understand? You die, and you sit here and you wait in the rock. And that's what you do. All souls are in the rock. How do I know that? Well, it's what they told us in the book of Enoch, but they kept that out of your Bible because they didn't want you to know. But see, I've read it all. I've read all this stuff. And see, when you do read it all, it brings it full circle. But when they cut out all these important books and they throw them off to the side and burn them and hide them and all this other stuff, it muddies the water. But, nah. If you seek it, you will find. Let's jump into the politics. Eric Adams, indicted, and it's unsealed. A couple things. This man was running with Diddy, gave him the key to the city, he also just turned on their agenda. He, and you may recall, I just reported on this here the past month or so, he has been getting ticked off about the migrant thing. And instead of doing what they want and being one of their stooges that say, no, just keep bringing them, just keep bringing them, just keep bringing the migrants, keep bringing them, we'll keep them in this hotel, we'll put them in this hotel, we'll pay them, just keep bringing them. He was sick of it. He's seen what happened. He was like, no. He goes, I want these migrants out of my town, out of a city. It's going to destroy it. I want them out of here. And he started calling it out and making moves to stop it. And just like that, he's gone. Dude, the main police dude just got taken down. Now the mayor of the biggest city on the planet, of NYC, gets taken. Are you kidding me? Like, there's big moves happening. So they're indicting him, saying that he's been taking money, bribes, for years. For like a decade. That's like, all right, you've been watching him for a decade. You've known this for a decade. He ain't even been mayor but couple years, 2-3 years now. Why didn't you pull the plug on him before? Same reason they didn't pull the plug on Diddy before. It's not until you get your card pulled that this happens. And that's exactly what you're witnessing. Big dogs taking down the whole game. Huge power move. They're shaking the whole thing up. They don't care no more. Whole thing's coming down. And they're going to watch some of these celebrities squirm. They already watched them on video getting freaked off. So now they're going to watch them squirm. All of them. Politicians, stars, princes, you name it. Yeah, that's what Gene Deal was saying. Yeah, he's got them all on there. This is different than Epstein in the sense that the cat's already out of the bag on a bunch of these people. And I ain't even got to that yet. That's like the end of this. Man, oh man. I'm going to keep on pushing here. All right, I got an urgent safety warning real quick. Boeing admitting that on their 737s, there is rudder failure. I don't even know. If you're out there flying these days and you're hopping on a Boeing 737 or anything Boeing, I don't even know what you're thinking. I'd drive anywhere in the United States before I ever flew at this point. And I'd only fly if I had to get across the ocean or something like that. And I think I would not take a Boeing. I'd try to do something else. Just putting it out there. We've seen these things falling apart, wheels falling off, doors popping off, engines burning up. You name it. Okay. So, they brought the puppet Zelensky from Ukraine over to the United States. He's here. I really can't believe it's even happening. Like, why even have this piece of work here? But anyway, it happened. And they kept saying that Trump was not going to meet him, and then boom. They met. They're together. And they have this little conversation. Depending on the website, they paint this a different way. But it looks like that they were having a decent conversation, decent relations. And, hey, they're talking. And Trump is playing peacemaker, man. He's playing peacemaker. If he can bring peace here and then bring it to the Middle East or wherever, it's going to be kind of creepy and crazy. But if anybody could do it out there, it's him, right? If anyone was destined to do it on this world stage, it's him, right?
So we have a very good relationship. And I also have a very good relationship, as you know, with President Putin. And I think if we win, I think we're going to get it resolved very quickly.
So that's him saying that if we win, we're going to get it resolved very quickly. He's got all these things he's going to do. He wants to resolve this war before he's even in office, to be historic, to have a peace deal worked out. But,
and I will
this is just one front. I'm going to play this clip here so you can kind of hear what he's saying.
say I've had a great relationship. It was very honorable. I don't even know if you know this, but when they did the impeachment hoax, it was a hoax, just a Democrat hoax, which we won. But one of the reasons we won it so easily is that when the president was asked, it was over a phone call with the president, and he said he could have grandstanded and played cute, but he didn't do that. He said, President Trump did absolutely nothing wrong. He said it loud and clear, and the impeachment hoax died.
Okay, so you can see Zelensky sitting there staring off, straight-faced, but he does nod. And in other clips, he starts speaking, and they're cordial. It's not like it's like, yeah, I know, fruity Zelensky, right? Demonic, satanic Zelensky, but it seems it's just setting the stage for a peace deal. Okay? Look at this. The DOJ indicts 3 men over an alleged Iran hack of the Trump campaign. Have I not told you? Have I not told you show after show here recently? Some of these themes repeat themselves. Paul, thank you. Iran and Trump. They keep connecting Iran and Trump. Yes, Paul, and I've talked about the port strikes. That is a huge thing. They can pop off at any time, and I will continue to cover it as it all unfolds. But yeah, that's another huge thing we got to keep an eye on. Cripple the ports and everything else. So they indict these 3 men, and I'm just like, dude, this is they're trying hard for this. And thank you, Deanne, for the coffees. Much love and respect. Right back. Prayers. They're trying hard for this. They're trying hard to paint the picture of Trump and Iran. Big time. It's been left and right, left and right, left and right. So, you have Rep. Eli Crane is warning Trump that he doesn't need to go back to the place they tried to kill him. He's warning him, saying that you don't need to go back to Butler because a secondary shooter, someone else could try again. Is what this guy's saying. And believe it or not, Trump's going back there on October 5th. Can you believe that? A place just this year that someone took a shot at him. The whole ear thing. I mean, can you believe this? Like, he's warning this. I'm going to play this clip.
Well, I just want to thank you both so much for being here. Your unique backgrounds and your insight about this subject matter is very valuable to us, and I appreciate you taking the time to participate in our hearing. I know you both have had an opportunity to cover in your statements some of the key things that you think are important for both the public and the committee to understand about the incident in Butler. Are there other things in particular areas of inquiry that you want to see this committee utilizing going forward, particular witnesses you think that we should have? Any thoughts you have about what and whom we should be bringing in to testify?
Yeah, I think one of the things that I've seen online, and let me be clear when I say this, guys, so much of any investigation, I think, needs to be open-minded and willing to look at anything and everything that, even if it might be outside the official narrative. Even if you talk to somebody and find out that the evidence that they're presenting, might not hold water, might lack credibility. I think that's extremely important. One of the videos that I've seen online is from a gentleman named John Colin, who talks about the possibility of a second shooter, and he shows a video, Miss Lee, where in this video he shows a bullet traveling down a path and the disruption that round supposedly makes, and then flies into one of the stadium fence railings. That shows that it would have been very, very difficult for that round to travel the path that it did had it come from Thomas Crooks. I think that you need to bring this gentleman in, see his evidence, and if you don't think it holds water, then you need to make that assessment. But that was one of the things I said in my opening testimony.
He is saying that a secondary shooter was on the scene and took the shot. That there's no way that shots from Crooks hit Trump. So, this is pretty crazy stuff. With this guy saying this on the floor here. But I see it as kind of a warning sign out there that, hey, are they telegraphing that something else can happen? Is that what they're doing here? So, look at this. What do we have here? Gwendolyn from KY, thank you for the coffees. President Trump is going to attend the Georgia-Alabama game on Saturday. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding? So Trump is, are you kidding me? Trump, after being sniped at in an open area, which they said was stupid, we all know it, and he's about to go back to it, and then having a dude set up a shop outside of a golf course on him, all open areas, not closed indoor venues that you can secure better. Anyone in an open area, I don't know this setting. I'm going to have to look into this real quick after all this. I need to look at this stadium. I'd like to go to Google, like Street View from the middle of the stadium, or from wherever, and just see. Like, if you see this image? You see how you can see up here past all the people up here on the top row? If there's a building that may peer down, a tower, a cliffside, I don't know, anything that gives some kind of shooter an advantage. An opening, there's like the stadium have a huge opening somewhere, crazy. I don't know. It's just, with everything that's happened, I think it's worth looking into at least. I can't believe they're taking him to an open air, outdoor football game with all these people. Jane from Tennessee. I mean, after what has happened and it being election time and all this, the environment, it just feels suspect. So, what I tell you about Trump and Iran, look at this. Trump himself is full-blown pushing the narrative that Iran is trying to kill him. This is being pushed by the whole establishment. The full-blown, both sides, the whole spectrum are pushing this. You understand? This means one thing. They're gearing for big war toward Iran. And if you get Donald Trump as your president, which I think he just might, I think he'll be the one. I think he'll be the selection. He's making it clear he is going to go to war with Iran. See, last time he was I'm not going to war with no one, this and that. But this time he will staunchly defend Israel through and through in a World War III push in a battle against Iran. I'm telling you, he would do it. They just said he was hacked and all this other crap, and they gave it to Kamala. Like, get out of here. Like, man, like y'all pulling some crap. Like, how stupid do you think some people are out here? It's become rather obvious. We can see where you're taking this. Narratives and all this crap. That's exactly what it is. It is a narrative, a scripted narrative being pushed. And it's what they want. They want all the people to think this. And now he's shifting gears. And look at this. This is crazy. The newest threat on Trump that all kinds of outlets are running with tonight. I seen one and I waited. And then I seen two and I was like, all right. And then I seen multiples and then they said multiple sources confirmed. I'm like, okay. That's enough. These guys I hear reporting on that apparently this information that got leaked or put out there has some validity. They're trying to say, or this international war correspondent first had claimed, that 9 surface-to-air missiles have been smuggled into the United States and they are to be used to target Trump Force One, which is his main aircraft. And they're going to target it with kill teams assigned to it. And they go into all this detail, all this other stuff that leads back to Iran. Yeah. And they're fueling it. Guess who's going to pull off the operation? Led by the Sinaloa cartel of Mexico, but didn't provide any concrete evidence to back the story. And it's like, okay. Then they go on to mention Iran, and it's all tying back into Iran. Where'd the missiles come from? It's them. They're using, whether it's Iran or Russia, whoever, they've already struck deals with Mexico and they're up in there. We already know this. Would not be surprised there's full-blown military stuff lined up in there. Everything's just hiding behind the cartel at this point, but I'm just letting you know, if we hear any crazy stories or news headlines, that Trump's freaking airplane has been shot at, targeted, anything, well, here you go. They're saying that this is the latest. So take it with a grain of salt, if you will, on this one. But I still feel that they're painting this aura, this picture that his life is endangered, and I think they're going to keep doing that. Okay? Whatever that entails. Other events, for sure. Okay? So you can see here, here's the same thing. Now, this guy, she was saying that 2 independent sources have provided corroborating reporting to her team saying the same thing. So this was more people coming out saying it. It's like, okay, then does Trump's team know this? His Secret Service team and all that? Have they seen all this? What do they say about it? What do they say about it? How come that information is nowhere to be seen? How come this other stuff is? I question some of the stuff, man, because all too often I see this stuff and it feels like it's prepackaged with agendas attached. Meanwhile, China and Brazil. China and Brazil buddying up is a big thing. And you seen what Brazil did. They went after Elon and the whole Twitter thing. And to me, it was them showing you the tyrannical left leadership that rules Brazil. Show the whole world. Like, this is who's in charge there. This is who runs things. And thank you, Brian Hall. You got that right. they're basically both saying that nuclear threats over Ukraine aren't going to fly. Like, you need not say this or that about nukes, blah, blah, blah. But it's like, hold on a second. It's Vladimir Putin that just said something. He just changed their whole entire nuclear doctrine. Yeah, your buddy, they're Putin. Sure did. Not the United States. So it's basically they're urging against it. They know that Russia's boss hog when it comes to the nukes. They don't want to see this. I don't think nobody wants to see this. Nobody wants to see nukes dropped or detonated in cities anywhere. It's not going to be a good end to anything. It's going to be a tit for tat, that's for sure. There's no way that you hit Russia with like a devastating strike and they do not hit somewhere else or multiple places or launch a salvo or something. There's just no way. Like they will do it. There's no way you tackle and take down Moscow and the Russian regime there. There's no way without getting nukes thrown in their face. There's just no way. I don't believe. But this world is a stage we've seen crazier. Maybe they got some James Bond stuff they're about to roll out and going to go in there and take down Moscow. I don't know. But what I do know is that as they drag this war out with Russia on a proxy front, and it's teetering on going to World War III between NATO and Russia, China is in the mix. I mean, a war with China alone, it's not going to be easy. Our U.S. military is admitting it. And again, our U.S. Navy is coming out saying that they're modernizing to counter China and their military by 2027. Okay? Now, there's two sentences I'm going to read here. The U.S. Navy has released a document outlining its plans to match and exceed Beijing's goal of modernizing its military by 2027, aiming to be prepared for potential conflict with the Chinese regime. Okay, so that's from the United States front. By 2027, the next one, the Chinese Communist Party has directed the People's Liberation Army to be fully modernized for war by 2027. Curtis, thank you for the coffees. Appreciate it to the fullest. Both releasing the same statements that their militaries are to be fully prepared for full-blown war. Our navies, by 2027, it's like 2 years away, right around the corner, 2.5 years away, right around the corner. So they've launched Project 33. Does it sound any Masonic to you? So Project 33 sets two goals for them to achieve 80% combat readiness with ships, aircraft, and submarines by 2027, and integrating advanced technologies like artificial intelligence and unmanned systems. This is Project 33. If there's going to be a project to the opening of World War III, especially between us and China, it would be labeled that. It sure would. For the books. They're ready. They're ready. Look, China just started launching missiles out into the ocean like Rocket Man, like North Korea. They ain't done that in forever, ever. And they're doing it. They're flexing. And look at this. China has been caught here tonight covering up the sinking of one of its newest cutting-edge nuclear-powered submarines. It sunk, and our military witnessed it and watched it, and they tried to cover it up and act like it just didn't happen, but it's a huge setback for them. And I'm still not sure of all the fine details at the bottom of this. Our military could have been behind it. Anything else, I don't know. But remember a couple years ago, I reported in some of these ports and situations, there were explosions on Russian subs and other subs that took place that were mysterious. And they did not know how it happened. And it crippled them in that sense. This is kind of very similar to that. Pretty messed up, but yeah. One of their subs just sinks out of nowhere. With everything going the way that it is. And what do we have here? The United States is facing a threat from China. This is our Deputy Secretary of State. He's saying that the threat is more severe than Cold War or anything. He says right now it's multifaceted. That China is the biggest threat here on the world stage, not just the military, but there's all kinds of different challenges. He mentions the global south. He mentions technology, economies, the whole thing, and that it's coming to a head. And then, of course, Russia's brought up. And how could they not be? They vowed to back each other throughout this whole thing. So we are going against a juggernaut in Russia, China, and boy, oh boy, if India jumps on board with them, it's over. It's bad news. Waiting to see what happens there. India's a huge, huge, huge wild card. Another one is Turkey. They were our ally. We have weapons there, but it seems they're flipping. They want to get into BRICS. They want to go the other way. But yet we still have weapons sitting in Turkey. It's like, hold on a second. Like, how is this going to work? And if Turkey allies with Russia and them, literally at this point, now that we've pulled troops out of Afghanistan and Taliban's running it, they could send troops from China all the freaking way to Israel. Through Turkey, through old Constantinople, into the Mediterranean, whatever, they sure could. Nothing would stop them. Nothing would stop them. All right, so we'll keep pushing here, got a lot to touch on here. Let me point this out. Who is the mightier? The U.S. versus China. Well, they have 8 measures of power. It's what they call them here. And we top China barely. Just barely. Out of a 0 to 1, with 1 being the highest. China gets a 0.8. We get a 0.89 in the end. But what they're stacking up here are things like education, innovation and technology, competitiveness, which is where we lack the biggest on the chart. It's where we go negative. Military, it's one of the sections where we are over twice as much as them. But then you have trade, economic output, financial center, and then reserve currency status, which looms big for us for now. But if you take that away, the day that is gone, China stands as being number 1 throughout these measures because we're barely beating them. So if we fall or slip any more in any of these sectors, they're the biggest. They're the most powerful. They are the number 1 superpower by definition at that point. Okay, so what do we have here? I just told you who India wants to join BRICS. Guess who else wants to join BRICS? This is crazy. The Taliban. If you can't see that this is like one side and the other side of the whole thing. Yeah. Iran's in there, obviously, with Russia and China. Like, that's the huge block over there, man. It's BRICS. All Brazil's in it with them. That's crazy. They're not our ally. Brazil's not. No. You just seen. They hate Elon. They seem to hate us. They seem to be left establishment leaning, and not just establishment, global establishment. And the world is a stage. They're playing that part. Keep it pushing. Hezbollah confirms the death of a top drone commander. If you missed it tonight, major strikes. Hammer Beirut. I mean, absolutely just hammer Beirut. These huge strikes, man. Just pounding it. I'm talking just massive strikes going after another leader. So they're just genociding these regions, man. Remember, they dropped bombs all the way down into Gaza. They stopped at the Egyptian line, basically the wall, because they weren't messing with Egypt at that point. And al-Sisi is just another puppet on the stage anyway. They turned, they went north. They stopped, and we warned, because they were looking like they were getting ready to make a move. And the next thing you know, pagers started blowing up, and then right behind it, Israel starts bombing the living crap out of everything. And they're doing it. Can you believe that not only are we supplying Ukraine with money, guess what we just gave Israel? $8.7 billion. So, like, dude, this place, America, is falling apart, destroyed, and we're just handing billions off constantly to these war fronts. I mean, constantly. It's not a one-time bill, slip it in, got away with it, It's like every week, another one. It's that bad. It's that bad. So, you may recall Kamala. She said that for the first time or whatever in history, blah, 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 there was no active duty U.S. troops in any combat zones across the globe. We had troops watching it, filming themselves, like, then where are we? She's nothing but a pure lie. It's a pure lie. We have troops in combat zones all over the place. It was one of the biggest lies ever. And just frame that moment in time, that lie. That is what they are and everything that they do. So, what does this headline say? The U.S. and the U.K. sending more troops to Cyprus to back up the Lebanon thing. So, we got troops going in there. Okay? Meantime, migrants flooding into Ireland. 150,000. Soros is behind all this, flooding them into this country, into Europe, into Ireland, into the UK. It's the same demon. It's the same, like, boogeyman, boss man. Is who it is. It's almost like a challenge, like no one else that took an oath to serve and protect has got it to rise up and seek a warrant and apprehension legitimately on a treasonous individual that is tearing our country apart. Not just him, but all these billionaires. They're doing it openly, cutting checks openly. I mean, it's guilty. It's just as bad as having Gates on film putting liquid jab basically down the throats of children, and he's not licensed to do it. He's not a medical doctor. So we got all these things on these criminals. We've just got them. Just like all the P. Diddy stuff, all these people admitting that they were at the freak-offs. We've got them. You can't take it back. We got them on video. I don't know, man. Some of the biggest players out there, besides Diddy's getting taken down, you need Soros is taken down, man. That's the thing. For his treason. In a court of law. There's a ton of crimes to stack up against him, and you know it. So I want to point out real quick something that I pointed out on the last stream, but add to it, that we've done this before. with immigration. We tried it in the 80s here in America. That's where the whole movie Scarface came from. It was showing all the Cubans flooding in and all that. It was exactly what it was. And it failed miserably. And so the whole movie came from. With Germany, is saying the same thing. They're saying that it does not work, not even economically. That they need $10 billion more in welfare to pay for all these migrants that just came in. Overwhelmed them. And I'm telling you, the plan was to overwhelm it, to bust the system, to break the system. They're broke. They're broke. They're done. Same thing's coming here. It's just been slower here. You can see right here in this one, I told you how the Biden administration, Kamala and all them have lost track of all these children. Well, look at this. ICE says that they let in 13,000 murderers, 15,000 rapists, and over 425,000 convicted criminals out there let across the border into this country. They knew it. They knew it. They knew what these people were. They're letting, who does this? Who lets a murderer into anywhere? A known convicted murderer. Who does it? Why? What do you expect that murderer to do? This is a setup. It's time people wake up and smell the roses and see that this is bad. Quit falling back asleep and see that we're set up. This government's got it to the barrel to our face. The enemy's here. Their foot soldiers are here. They're here, all right, en masse. And it's begun. So Texas putting out another warning saying that the gangs are all over the state, all across the state, everywhere. Not just one or two little towns, they're everywhere. I told you before they were in the Permian Basin, the big oil basin that makes us all of our money in this country, stealing the diesel, the copper, everything to get their hands on. Now it's everywhere. In the meantime, you got clowns, stooges for the establishment like Pete Buttigieg tweeting out crime is down just a couple days ago. Insane. It's gaslighting. It's lies. Just like Kamala saying there's no troop in any war zone and they're all over. And it's a fact. It's lies right to your face. So, Rogan here says that he thinks that they are definitely a direct threat to free speech, which is even scarier, knowing that they want to go after Elon. Listen to what he says right here, real quick, and play a quick clip of him and Kamala so you can see where this is going.
The more we have platforms where that stuff is just free, where you can just say whatever you want, say whatever you think about anything, which really X and Rumble are the only places that I know of that you could really do that right now.
Have you had any problem on audio at all?
No.
Good.
No.
Good. I haven't either.
It's, audio is like they're leaving that alone for now. I think it's probably because it's not as easily shared. Right?
That's what's coming next.
Yeah, probably. I mean, all they would have to do is just put images of you and images of me and then have our audio and upload that as a video. And then maybe they would start coming after audio.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I hope, I just hope this shit starts to turn around.
I do too, but I don't think it turns around if Kamala Harris gets into office. I think they clamp down more. I think the same stuff that they were trying to do with Twitter, they'll try to do with something else and with other things. They've already openly discussed it. She's openly discussed that the same rules have to apply to Facebook, they have to apply to Twitter, and that Elon Musk could lose his privileges. And, there's so many wild things that they're saying. Tim Walsh said that the First Amendment doesn't apply to misinformation or hate speech. Okay, well, it certainly does. It does. You know, sometimes people say things wrong. And the goal of the First Amendment is you say something wrong, and then this guy who's an expert says the right thing.
Yeah.
And then you correct him.
Yeah, I mean, the misinformation, it's all opinion.
Right. Well, so much of it turns out to be true. How about masks don't work? you would get screamed at for masks don't work. Well, guess
I
what? They don't
remember.
fucking work. They don't work.
I remember.
Fauci said masks don't work. Remember that interview before the pandemic, before they knew how big it was going to be?
Yes.
He was like, you don't have to wear a mask.
Then it was where two.
Then it was where
But now listen to what Kamala says.
He has lost his privileges, and it should be taken down. And the bottom line is that you can't say that you have one rule for Facebook and you have a different rule for Twitter. The same rule has to apply, which is that there has to be a responsibility that is placed on these social media sites to understand their power. They are directly speaking to millions and millions of people without any level of oversight or regulation. And
You see that? Of course, it's called freedom of speech. They don't sugarcoat it. This is what they're coming after. Exactly what I'm doing here tonight. You see? You know. And you've seen on the flip side, George Soros buying 200 radio stations to attack down that avenue. So they'll silence anyone that's not going to toe the line, and then they'll blast all their shills through all these new radio stations they just picked up. Dude, we are in a war. And you can see the players. You can see the people that are against you. You can see the people that are against your way of being, of your existence. All of it. We can. We can see who is turning our own people against us to fight us in the streets. We can see who is cutting the check and supplying the plan to do it as they sit in their mansion like Scarface. I'm telling you, man. When someone out here just doesn't care anymore and decides that it's going to be the thing to do, I guess maybe then bad guys get rounded up. But for the life of me, I guess we're all sitting here waiting for someone that took an oath to serve and protect to do that, to arrest these criminals. I think the closest thing that you're going to get in this country thus far are some of the sheriffs that we've seen that have stepped up, like that Butler County, Ohio sheriff, and some others that have stepped up and aired all this out, especially on the migrant tip, on the invader tip, you know, and standing with the people. You know, you better hope you got a good sheriff around. Again, I guess it's all about where you're situated at this point. I've got two more things here to touch on real quick. We'll shut this thing down for the night. This one is an alert on the bird flu. You guys remember Event 301, right? You remember that it was a short time after that everything went into motion, right? Can you believe it? That they are holding a huge event on the bird flu, the International Bird Flu Summit. It will be held October 2nd through the 4th at the Hilton Fairfax in Virginia, just outside of D.C., 1 month prior to the election. So that you know, all the goons are getting together for something again. A summit, just like last time. And this time it has to do with the bird flu. You remember the video clip I played? The lady that came out and says, well, bird flu is different than COVID and everything else because we've been testing this for years and we've already got this and we've already got that. And we got them stacked up on the shelf ready to go to all the farmers and make them have to take them. Remember that? She let the whole cat out of the bag right there. I'm telling you. They've yet to even play the card. And remember, the Luciferus Bill Gates mark, the X that glows in the dark, it hasn't even been implemented or rolled out. That is patented. They haven't even used it yet. So guess what? Guess when it comes into play? Get ready. All cards are on the table from here, guys. Literally everything. Up to this election. Who knows what they'll try to throw at it. They are throwing some distractions out there, I'll tell you that though. because they don't care about their Hollywood elites, so to speak. All of them are just like, they're nothing. It's all the bloodline cats that control this stuff. And if you're not in there, then you're nothing. Then you too can get clipped, thrown under the bus, sold out, sacrificed, the whole nine. It's a dirty, evil game when it comes to these dark individuals. So what I'm talking about is with Diddy in this whole ring of people. I believe this is going to continue to unravel, just to kind of serve as a sideshow here going into this election. And it is, but it is. From here, you can't deny. From here, it will be. And rightfully so, because so many people are tied into this. So many people tied into this. We'll see how fast this goes through the courts. Gets fast-tracked, all this and that. But we've got all kinds of people jumping up with new evidence now. And this rabbit hole runs deep, super deep. This runs down so many different avenues. Remember, Gene Deal said that this is, politicians are tied into this. Princes are tied into this. And all that. So, it's got some powerful people. Do some of these same people overlap with the Epstein circles? I'm sure, yeah. Definitely, especially when it comes into the political realm. But not all. Epstein had a lot more of world power instead of just Hollywood stars and things like that. Had more world power. Look, and all these are tactics of the Mossad all day long. But I expect more to come out of this as time goes by, big time. Because look at this. A sex worker met with prosecutors on Wednesday and signed a proffer agreement and allows him, this male sex worker, to spill all the beans without getting prosecuted. Basically, because he's in the tapes. He's in the tapes, and there's minors and all this criminal stuff. And they have said that if there's a star, if there's a Hollywood star, J-Lo, anyone in one of these films, and there's a criminal activity going on in it, they're going after them. As I said before, all of a sudden J-Lo and Affleck just split, all of a sudden divorce, something nasty, something weird seems going, well, there you go. Justin Bieber didn't hide it. It's all right out there now. Usher is trying to go into damage control, removing stuff, and kind of caught in the mix. He's done. All these people squirming. You didn't have this with Epstein. You just didn't. All those people are still kept behind a curtain. Diddy's, he pretty much named his list off on a video. Oprah, Will Smith, I mean, you name it, man. All LeBron James, all these people were there. So that's the power move here. Diddy, I would say, still has to watch his life. I don't care if they've got him in an open room or not or nothing. I don't care. Crazier things have happened. He's ready to speak, like adamantly, his lawyer says, which anyone that was in a freak-off is got to be crapping their pants. It's already game over for all of them. The Fed's got all the tapes, got all of it, got all of them. They've got it. Diddy's done. And just wait till the murders. Wait till the murders come. They better come into play. If the murders do not come into play of Biggie Smalls, Tupac Shakur, and others, everyone else that was around him, the deaths of Black Rob, Craig Mack, all of them, Kim Porter, all of them. This dude had them all, had a hand in all of it. He had a hand in all of those deaths. All of them. Mesa tell you. Some of the few that are left breathing, they'll tell you straight up. Gene Deal will tell you. Same thing. This dude's behind it. This dude had a hand in all of it. Him and some corrupt alphabet gangs. Imagine that. That's who kills them all, huh? That's who gets them all. But just, it's crazy how the beast, he must have really pissed somebody off. Just one major player, one major bloodline, world power player, Rothschild, God, one person could have just been pissed off by his actions, what he did in one way, one certain way, or anything. And they pulled his card. Knowing that when you pull Diddy's card, you pull all of these, you bring the whole thing down. This will effectively gut Hollywood, the music industry, all of them. It's got Russell Simmons, Clive Davis, Jimmy Iovine, all these music producers, the CEO of Universal. Are you kidding me? All of them. All of them. But let's see if they dare speak about the dark stuff with witchcraft and the black magic or any of that in court. Bet they don't, because the judge is in the same team. That's where we get nowhere in this country. Sold out at every level, every turn. It's so evil. That's why I think you guys are fighting a good fight out there, truly. Up against devils. And as it is written, we wrestle them not in the flesh, but in the spirit. Spiritual wickedness. And I call upon the Most High in heaven to destroy it, to expose it, and to shed light on the wickedness. Let all the truth come out there on these demons. I pray again here tonight that any of you guys caught up in the storm, man, look, help someone if you can. That's the biggest thing here. It's dark out right now. I know people are in flood water and it's scary. I know people are in some bad positions, man. I thank all of you out there that help others. Okay, that fight the good fight, man. In the name of the Most High, walk as He would want you to. There's something higher watching this, man. I'm telling you, put in good work. I look to be back on the next one. Going live Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. 9 p.m. Eastern, right here. Hit that subscribe button and the bell notification if you're new. And check my channel right here every day. I'm dropping fresh videos almost every single day. In the afternoon, by the afternoon for sure. Sometimes multiple videos. Just trying to stay on it. And, man. Time flies. Another one in the books, man. Take us out of here. I want to thank everybody out there. I'm going to give some shout outs here real quick before I fire up the music. Curtis, Gwendolyn, Deanne, Granite, all the someones, D. Thomas, Lowrider, Quantum, Colleen, Chucky, all of you guys, man, coming through on the coffees tonight. Appreciate it more than you know. And anyone that's at the PayPal, anyone that shares the stream, anyone that keeps me in the prayers, appreciate it more than you know. Anyone that fights the good fight. That's what's up. Earn you some stripes. May the Most High be with you. Much love, Uncommon, Crown Jewels. My brother. Gotta get back up with you and connect. Look, my main goal was to get back on this grind, doing this. And then if I can get caught up, catch up on some other things, like dive into some music and things like that. But right now, I'm trying to batten down the hatchets, so to speak, before winter. And all those good things. I'm off grid now. It's a different lifestyle. You have to live a certain way, that's for sure. You got to change things up and, like, I don't know. I just adjusting to things. Got to make sure I'm good going into the winter. Just make sure, first and foremost. And hope you guys are too. I'd be prepared for this one. Who knows what they could throw at us? Got to stay sharp, purebloods. 11:11 here, East Coast time, as I shut this down. I love all of you guys. And if God doesn't return in the coming days, I'll see you here next time for Underground World News Live. For real, man. I love y'all. God bless.
The Garden of Eden, the Great Flood, the birthplace of Abraham.
Thank you,
I know
Eon.
men who have taken life needlessly in other conflicts. I can assure you, they live with the mark of Cain upon them. The enemy should be in no doubt that we are his nemesis, and we are bringing about his rightful destruction. If you are ferocious in battle, remember to be magnanimous in victory.
I took my place at the table and drank wine with the kings. Picked up my sword to go and battle with the jinns. There's rumors of war and it's about to begin. So repent for sins before you send for your wings. About to school them out about prepared crowns and kneecaps. Wrote revelations, been there and back with deep math. Read all the scriptures, seen through them like a sheet glass. I did the knowledge equipped with many weed sacks. So ease back and speak facts, my spirit is prepared. What will be, never show no despair. Keep your head held high and have faith in the hair. And join in because there's power in prayer. And when the hour is here, don't be devoured in fear. Cause the flowers of smoke, they gave me powers of seers. And I've been pounding ears for years to down fears. So welcome to the underground, the thunder stars here, yeah.
Welcome to the underground, your safe is over now. We got a place you can escape because you serve the crown. His word is moving now, the world is losing now. Out of the promised land cause they refuse to bow. Welcome to the underground, your safe is over now. We got a place you can escape because you serve the crown. Now it's a day away, the war about to break. So grab a sword, pray the Lord, and soldier take your place. Angels stand ready at the four winds. Abaddon's armor's on, about to storm in. So warn men as they hearing the lyrics. Stand bold, don't fold, ain't no fear in the spirit. The spirit, the spirit. Your mission, should you choose to accept it, speak truth, tear down deception. Your only weapon, the words he's given. So spit flames, and rain hell from heaven. Form up, we about to storm up with the right team. The spike scene will make that all-seeing eye scream. With light beams we make them melt into a light sheen. Unless they covered by the blood like a sunscreen. The unseen is made clear only by his grace. For the king we give it all, we run the race. War is on, sword is dawn, make no mistake. Don't fall, stand tall, soldier, take your place. Welcome to the underground, your safe is over now. We got a place you can escape because you serve the crown. His word is moving now, the world is losing now. Out of the promised land cause they refuse to bow. Welcome to the underground, your safe is over now. We got a place you can escape because you serve the crown. Now it's a day away, the war about to break. So grab a sword, pray the Lord, and soldier, take your place.
It's time to take your place, or you getting replaced. You either ride for the Lord or getting your soul erased. The demons give a chase, they all up in my face. face. That's when I hit him with holy water like it was mace. Better repent for sin and overcome the gin. The end time's here, so baby, let the games begin. We walk in righteousness, the only way we gonna win. The soul screaming to heaven, begging to let them in. The seals are breaking, prophecy got the earth shaking. Better awaken or forever get your soul taken. I ain't faking, you better prepare. When the Lord comes to separate the wheat from the tare. If you care, time's ticking into the final hour. And when the Lord comes, you'll witness the power. When the trumpet sounds, it's about to go down. The real can only be found up in the underground.
Welcome to the underground. Your safe is over now. We got a place you can escape because you serve the crown. His word is moving now. The world is losing now. Out of the promised land cause they refuse to bow. Welcome to the underground. Your safe is over now. We got a place you can escape because you serve the crown. Now it's a day away. The war about to break. So grab a sword, pray the Lord, and soldier, take your place.